Magandang umaga mga kaibigan. Here's a shocking news. Nabigla po ako dahil nalaman ko meron palang nakakatandang kapatid na lalaki ni President-elect BBM. Itong kapatid nilang ito, siya ang pinagsandalan nila. Siya ang nagbigay ng strength to carry on the fight during their trying moments nung nasa exile sila sa Hawaii. Hindi po ito chismis. Mismo bunganga ni then Ilocos Norte Governor Bongbong Marcos, siya ang nagpayag na sabi niya, he is my older brother sa isang public gathering noong 1998. So, sino itong kapatid niya? Anong pangalan? Nasaan siya? Buhay pa ba siya ngayon? Ito po ang masakit na katotohanan dahil patay na po ang nakakatandang kapatid na lalaki ni PBBM. Anong pangalan niya? Walang iba kundi si Colonel Arturo Aruiza, the last loyalist standing, who stood beside the President and his family during their trying moments, trying years in Hawaii. Namatay po sa cancer si Colonel Aruiza dahil siya po ang nag-absorb sa lahat ng sakit na naramdaman ng Marcos family nung nasa Hawaii sila. So pakinggan nyo itong eulogy ni Ilocos Norte Governor Bongbong Marcos 1998 nung namatay itong older brother nila. And sana may matutunan tayong leksyon sa buhay. Ako, loyalty. Sana maging katulad ako ni Colonel Aruiza, loyal sa Diyos, loyal sa Commander-in-Chief, sa bansa at saka sa sangkatauhang Pilipino. To President-elect BBM, rest assured na kami sa Armed Forces of the Philippines, we will be loyal to you as our Commander-in-Chief. May God bless you in your journey to lead our country in the next 6 years. So mga kaibigan, panoorin nyo ang pagpupugay, eulogy ni PBBM sa yumao niyang kapatid, si Colonel Aruiza. To the family of Colonel Aruiza, may your tribe increase. Isa pong bayani ang inyong amahan. And to Colonel Aruiza, my snappy salute to you, sir. Rest in peace in heaven.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Christ have mercy.
Christ have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Our
This evening as representative to speak in behalf of the Marcos family. And I feel that we have a place in the eulogizing of Art Aruiza because we certainly considered him one of ours, perfectionist. The story about the young Lieutenant Aruiza not allowing the president to enter an area that he had not considered secure is now, I think, famous amongst his friends. And I did not realize it then, but I found out later on that Art Aruiza had, of course, been spotted very early on, slowly developed, and before he became, he had joined the AIDS office, he had been working and doing things already for the old man in General Ver. And so when he came to us, when he came to the study room, he was already a terribly professional and accomplished officer. However, as we all know, the test of any man, the test of any person, is in times of great difficulty. And I can think of no experience that would be considered more difficult than the years we spent in Hawaii after the events of '86. As I was going to say, as you can imagine, but then it came to me that you cannot imagine what it was like in the house in Makiki Heights. especially in those days of 86 and 87, when our futures were completely bleak, when we did not know what our days would be like one day to the next. There are some people here that were with us in Makiki, in Hawaii. But Art was always there to maintain some kind of professionalism, to not give up, to keep your courage up. And it must have affected him as much as it affected all of us. But nevertheless, I knew that he felt that being the leader that he was, that he could not show any sign of weakness. And that show of strength that he gave us was something that we came to depend upon, and that we lent upon in our darkest, most difficult days. However, as time went on and I got to know Art much, much better, and we would sit, and the old man was already ill, some of the time he was already in the hospital. Art and I would sit around and talk about many things, and for the first time in our relationship, I began to know what was deeper in his heart. And I must say that what we saw on the surface with Art, which was a sterling, loyal, almost heroic personality, when you dug down deeper, it got even more sterling and more heroic and more courageous. And so when it came to, the news came to me that he had been diagnosed with an illness, and it did not look too promising, I was, of course, I did not really believe, because Art was always, would not talk about his own problems, would not complain, and we knew that he could handle anything. And I remember that when he was talking to a friend of mine, that he said, I am ill and things don't look good. I think my commander-in-chief is already calling for me. And that is the same feeling that I had when my father died. And that was when I remember he spoke at he gave a eulogy for my father. And then he finished his eulogy and he came down, and I said, Art, I always knew it, but I now know it for sure. You are my brother. I considered him my brother because I knew of his love and devotion to the old man. Everybody here knows that he could have come home to the Philippines much earlier than he did. Everyone knows that he could have come home to the Philippines without having any problems, because he had his classmates to help him. He had many people who respected him, who would not humiliate him. But he did not. He did not because he felt a sense of duty to the old man. He felt a sense of unfinished business. And so he stayed on. And it is a great pity, because as time went on and things and the situation in the Philippines changed, I was beginning to get the feeling that perhaps he was going to take the opportunities that had been presented to him and finally reach the potential that we all saw in him. But life being what it is, he was struck down before we could see his star rise to its real height. And so when I heard the news that he had lapsed into a coma, and that all life support systems had been removed, and that they did not expect him to survive, as we all do, we try to make sense of a friend's life. We try to understand what was he all about. And when I thought about it, the words or the phrase that kept coming to my mind was officer and a gentleman. Art was an officer and a gentleman. He was an officer and a gentleman not by any act of any Congress, but he was an officer and a gentleman because of the quality of his person, because of his humanity, his intelligence, his courage, his loyalty, and finally his goodness. And so it is unfortunate that we must gather under these circumstances. And I am almost in disbelief that I am here. That I have lost my friend, my brother, and I can say my comrade, because we fought many battles together. There will be, I do not think, anyone like Art, quite like him, in our lives again. And what has he left us? What is his legacy? For me, the legacy that I will remember Art with is the example that he set for us. He would always make me feel, bring out the best in me, try and give me a good example. And he did not do it by being pompous, by telling us what to do. He made the example by being it. And so from now, whenever I remember Art Arwisa, and I think for the rest of us, that when we remember Art Arwisa, we will remember a shining example that he put before us and the ideal that we shall all try to be, to follow his example.